November always feels like that kind of in-between month, end of summer to back to school. Then you're kind of in this transition area right before the holidays, and it just feels like the perfect time to do a reset to get ready for the month of November as well as December. And November. Thanksgiving's in November, and Christmas, and all the other crazy things that happen in December. Because I don't know about you, but my family goes pretty hard for the holidays. I feel like there's something happening every week. Friends getting married and weddings to go to holiday parties, just a lot on the agenda. And it just feels like a reset is a really essential part to feeling like things are put together. You know, it's hard to just tackle all of this without having like goals of why you're doing what you're doing. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? You might have heard me mention that journaling is not something I've historically been able to keep up with long term, but I do feel like there are times where I sit down and I journal and I'm able to process thoughts and just the whirlwind of all the things going on in my life. And this is one of those times. I want to focus the rest of this year on my spending habits. I want to think more about cozy hobbies and how I want to spend my time less on screens and more like analog and physically doing things. And really just feeling grounded before the year ends. There's not a lot of time left before we're in 2026. And October has gone by way too fast. If you ask me, gone already. Like what? In October, a lot went down, a lot happened, and one of those things that I feel like I focused pretty hardcore on was finding my spark. I did a little mini series on it. I always hit the end of summer and I just feel like it's really hot outside. There are days that are just 95 and above, and it makes it really difficult. And I honestly just got to the point where I was feeling really discouraged. All of that to say, I focused a lot of my time in October on finding my spark. What do I enjoy doing? And I am very happy to report I do feel like I've gotten a bit of my spark back. It is working. And the things that I've been focusing on are those feelings of nostalgia. Like I've noticed things that feel good. If I remember it, that is a really good sign for me to try and do it again. So if I remember having a really good muffin at a cute little bakery, then my goal is to try and recreate that muffin. Or I think this is the same thing as a kid liking to play music and trying to do that again, or get creative with Legos and buying a Lego set to build at home and do it again as an adult. Try to do things like that. Also in October, and I have talked about this before, I've noticed it's really hard to keep on my no buy challenge or my no buy year that I've been doing this year. I have found myself with a very extensive and long wish list, and it makes it hard to have to wait to buy certain things, but I do feel like I've been doing fairly well when it comes to trying my very bestest, my very best, to not buy things over and over again. I still am buying things. So am I perfect? No, but at least I'm not going overboard with buying things. So I guess that's the point, isn't it? Right? I am really excited though. I think in the new year, I want to do a no buy challenge, just a month instead of a full year. And I want to focus on tracking the financials of that and seeing how much money I actually saved by not impulse purchasing things. And I think there's a whole video that I am going to film and report back to you guys on how that goes, because I find it really interesting, really fascinating. Okay, to start off my reset for November, I am ready to get into some more seasonal routines. Every season, I feel like it's important to have routines kind of shift and change with the seasons. What I was doing in the summertime is maybe not going to work for things in the fall and the winter time for me. So I am definitely ready to reset and refresh my routines. And also, shameless plug, I have a routine reset that is available. I'll throw it in the description below. It's a 5-day email challenge where every day you get a small actionable step to help reset and refresh your routines. So if you also need a routine refresh, then that is definitely something I would recommend checking out. One of the things I feel like is really important to think about is my goals for the next 2 months, going into the holidays and into the new year. So I'm not going to start on my 2026 goals, but more so just what are my goals for the end of the year. So the 3 things that I want to focus on are my financial intentions for the end of the year. I also want to set some self-care goals. I've noticed that I am not very good about integrating self-care into my everyday life. So I do feel like that's something that I want to set some goals around. And then last but not least, I want to come up with some goals for the end of the year for sustainability stuff, especially with the holidays. it's super easy to lean into overconsumption or to buy a bunch of new holiday decor, or you can just be wasteful with certain things just because it feels like there's a lot going on. So I just want to be able to set some intentions on sustainability things that are really important to me to continue to do throughout the end of the year, rather than forgetting about it once I get overwhelmed and there's people in my house and I get flustered and then everything goes. So I feel like if I can just set a couple of goals on those three things, so financial intention, self-care goals, and sustainability focuses. I'm gonna do the 2-2-2 method, but I'm gonna leave off the last two. So I'm going to set some goals for the next 2 days, the next 2 months, and then the last two is the next 2 years, which I'm just trying to go through the end of the year here. So today I'm gonna focus on journaling. I think I'm gonna pick back up the reset tomorrow at some point because the house needs a bit of a clean. Laundry needs to be laundered. And at some point tomorrow, I'll come back on and I can share some of my goals that I've come up with for those 3 things. If you are in your reset era too, you're not alone. We're in this together, so let's get into it. Okay, and we are back. Always trying to be close to me. So yesterday I sat down and I wrote a lot about my goals for those 3 things we talked about. So I figured I could go over them with you guys. When I say I journaled them, I would say I wrote mostly bullet point lists. I'm more of a list girl, and that's kind of how I interpret journaling sometimes. It's just lists of things. But overall, I'm glad that I did it. I feel like it was really important to sit down and dedicate time to actually thinking, what do I want out of the next 2 months to end the year strong? And so going through some of the things that I came up with on my goals for financial intention, self-care, and sustainability focus, I wrote down that I wanted to focus on a closet clean out. The reason why I have a closet clean out under financials is because I do feel like I am hitting the age and the time where I feel like I need a little closet refresh. The things I used to wear, I'm not really wearing anymore. I think last year was a time that I really focused on getting basics, so I have a lot of good basics. But it's time for me to maybe get like a new pair of jeans. My running shoes have holes in them, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's time for a new pair of like athletic shoes to wear around. That is why that is under the financial intentions, is because I want to make sure whatever I'm bringing into my closet is for a reason and not just like going in to never be worn. The other thing that I put that I want to finish up this week is set my holiday budget goals. So I need to sit down with my man and we need to discuss what do we want to spend for the holidays? What is our budgeting? What's our goal here? I wrote down some like rough ideas. So I was thinking for my man, like a baseline of $500 for each of us. That feels like so much money, but I just feel like it goes by so fast. So that was my thought on there. We have family on either side plus extended family. So I just went ahead and put down $500 for everybody. I feel like that's a good number. It's like enough to where everyone can get like a little something, but we're not like diving crazy into our pockets to try to give everybody like some huge elaborate gift. And I personally am a fan of homemade gifts. I think this is like a fun thing for me to do too, is decide what kind of homemade gifts do I want to make for everybody this year. And then every year for the holidays, we always celebrate with our pups as well. So I put $100 for all 3 of our dogs. I feel like that's a good number. So that would be a little over $1,000, which is just so much money. It is crazy to think about that. But you know what? It is what it is. That's holidays. It's good to have a budget and then stick to the budget. And if I go under the budget, well then great. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I do not go over the budget. So for my end of the year goals after 2 months, I hope, fingers crossed, I'm gonna stick to the budget. And then I want to create and stick to a closet wish list. So I think this is a good time rather than just buying clothes I think I need, maybe start working on a wish list of clothes I feel like I'm reaching for, but I don't have, and make that my wish list of things. 1, I can ask for Christmas, and 2, wait for good sales to come around. And when I feel like I find thrifting or see a good sale, then I can buy them then rather than just like impulse buying something like online because I'm like, I desperately need yellow boots. But I don't actually need yellow boots, you know? Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, self-care goals. Now, I historically am not very good about focusing on my own personal self-care. I feel like it's really easy for me to get caught up in just a bunch of to-do lists or taking care of other things that I kind of forget to take care of myself. I wrote for my 2 days, I want to do my nails. I have not done them, so maybe tonight or tomorrow I will get around to doing them. And then I want to do an everything shower, and I would like to have a bubble bath. You just gotta have like an hour to do a real bath, you know? Soak in the Epsom salt, throw on like a little show on my phone or watch some TikToks. I don't know. But sometimes it just feels like an hour. When do I have an hour? So that's my goal. Set aside an hour, do a bubble bath. Goals that I want for the next 2 months, so by the end of the year I wish to have accomplished these things, would be self-care twice a week. And I think that can be flexible, so I wrote a list of what self-care things I would benefit from doing at least twice a week. Having a specific show to watch. I feel like that's really good. I love reality TV, but I really have not been watching a ton of it lately. So I think it'd be fun to have like a show that's just mine that I can watch. I think that falls into self-care, just relaxing, watching a show. I wrote down nails. I've never really been a nail girl before, but I did get my nails done before our anniversary back in August, like at a salon. That was my first time going to a salon in like, I don't know, since like 2020 probably. And I thought to myself, this is really nice. But it is very expensive, and I do feel like I have a lot of nail polish and a lot of tools at home. So I feel like focusing on my nails and just taking care of my nail beds, painting them, really gives me a good little confidence boost. So I wrote that under my self-care. I also wrote doing a full skincare routine. I'm talking face mask, I'm talking slugging, all of the things. I do feel like that is really helpful. A hair mask is also under this list. So doing like a hair care routine, take care of myself. Those are my goals there. I have my sustainability focus. I just feel like this is so important to think about because when the holidays come around, it's super easy to get overwhelmed. Maybe you have family coming in town, or maybe you're traveling to see family or friends or whatever it might be, that you kind of forget a lot of things that you're like, oh yeah, I should have done that. So I like to write it down just as a simple reminder, kind of goals that I want to work towards. Doesn't mean I have to be perfect this season, but just something to hopefully have in the back of my mind so that when things come along, then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. I wanted to do that. So in the next 2 days, I want to select a recyclable gift wrap. Normally, what I do for my Christmas gifts is I will either use newspaper or I will use the brown paper packaging that comes in shipments or packages that you get. And I will save all that up and I will use that as my packaging. However, everything that I saved, we kind of used while moving and then ended up recycling it after we took everything out of the boxes. And so I don't have as big of a stash as I did before. So I am thinking about just buying like craft paper from, I don't know, my online or something. I don't know, but there's a couple of cool designs and stuff. So I just want to make sure that it is recyclable because a lot of wrapping paper, even though it's really pretty, but if it has that like shimmery sheen or like glitter on it, it's not recyclable. So I just want to make sure that what I'm getting is recyclable. And then I want to start my Christmas shopping. I know it feels early. I'm filming this right now. We're like at the end of October, like beginning of November as I'm filming this. And it does feel very early to start Christmas shopping. I feel like Black Friday, like right around Thanksgiving is when most people start their Christmas shopping. However, I want to get a head start on it. So I've already started writing little lists of gifts ideas that I want to get for the people in my life. I just want to be prepared this year when it comes to Christmas. I don't want to feel like I'm running around floundering 2 weeks before the holidays or 24 hours before a party I'm going to, being like, what am I going to bring? It's the worst feeling ever. It's so stressful. I do not want to feel like that this year. So this also is really helpful because I'm able to take advantage of any sales that I see coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up as well, so I want to do some Thanksgiving menu prep. Specifically, I want to make sure that there's some plant-based meals. I am going to my family's house this year. Last year, we did not travel for Thanksgiving, so we made pretty much everything from scratch. But this year, we're going to like this huge Thanksgiving. My family does it big. You know, there's like 30 to 40 people in one house. It is loud, it is chaotic, there is food galore. However, there's not usually a ton of vegetarian or plant-based options. So my goal is that I can maybe bring them this year. That way there's something for me to eat and there's something for other people to eat that isn't like, you know, coated in like butter and cheese. And then the other thing I want to start to finalize, start thinking about is planning family holiday outings. And I wrote in parentheses local here because every year there are things that I want to do that I never end up doing because I forget about them. So I want to start planning them, at least throw some, you know, activities on the calendar so that way I don't forget about them. Like there is a really cute pumpkin patch in town that I would love to go to. And then that same farm that does the pumpkin patch also does like a holiday themed kind of festival market thing in December. So I definitely want to go to either one of those this year. And I've been meaning to go for the last couple of years and just have never made it out. All right, so for the next 2 months, what I want by the end of the year, I want to make sure that I remember to recycle boxes and paper, not just throw it in a trash bag because there's so much and everybody's opening gifts and things feel crazy and chaotic. I want to make sure that I remember to recycle things. I want to make sure that if I am buying any new Christmas decorations, that it can be reused from year to year. I want to take care of it and I want to put it away so that way I can use that same one the next year. I want to stick to my mindful budget. I just want to make sure that I'm not getting carried away. I have a tendency to get carried away during these times because I love it. I want to support mindful brands for gifts instead of just going to like Amazon or buying from random Instagram ads whenever I see them. I want to make sure that if there's an idea for a gift for someone that I love, that I am using and supporting either a local business or a small business, or at least like a business with good values rather than just the default always being, let me order something off Amazon. And my last note here is I want to plan ahead. I want to prepare so I do not get overwhelmed. If there's a theme in all of this, it's that the holidays are overwhelming for me, from family to gifts to just feeling like there's so much I want to do, but not enough time to do everything. So if I can plan ahead this year, I really think I will be not so overwhelmed. And that is the goal for me personally. What are your goals? Let me know in the comments if any of these resonate with you or if you have other goals that you're thinking about, whether it's financial, self-care, or sustainability focused. I want to hear them below. I feel like this list could be so long. Now the only thing left to do is clean up my space. I want to start taking down my Halloween decorations, put those away for next year, and focus on really cozy fall themed decorations. So let's finish all that up. Okay, things are looking pretty good. I'm really happy. I did update and change and wash and revamp my little area. Odie is napping there. Cutie patootie. This has been a really fun reset. I haven't really done a video like this before. It's like kind of vlog-like, so if you like it, let me know. I can definitely do more of them, maybe like monthly resets moving forward. If you feel like I missed anything, let me know, because I probably did. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you're focusing on this month to reset, recharge, and to just prepare yourself for the upcoming holidays. I know it's overwhelming for so many of us, so just know you're not alone if you're feeling overwhelmed and less excited, more overwhelmed. I think sometimes the planning and the resetting and just sitting down, taking the time to actually map out what you're excited about and what's important for you during each season can really help bring that like whimsy, magical excitement back to the holidays. So if you like this video, give it a like, make the YouTube minions happy, and subscribe for more videos like this. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!